Howdy Wolfpack, been a little while. Nice to be back on a video. Happy Friday. We made it another fantastic week. We'll cap it off with some squat cleans and then a fun little metcon. So 10-minute EMOM. We are doubling the squat cleans from last week, the exact same EMOM that we did on Wednesday with the squat snatches. So your goal, just like it was Wednesday, you want to match or try to match as close as you can to the same weights that we did last week for the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because we are adding that additional set to each one, so doubling the volume. Again, kind of like we did with the power cleans, these are going to be a lot more fatiguing overall from your body as well as your heart rate. Excuse me, because that barbell is on our chest through the entire squat, so you're adding extra tension to your body, right? You're adding extra tension to your midline and your diaphragm as you squat, so you physically can't breathe. So expect this to be very, very challenging tomorrow. I know we kind of had an introduction with it last Friday with the squat cleans, but also doubling the reps Wednesday with the squat snatch, but I anticipate this being a lot more overall fatiguing than people are thinking. So if you need, if the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 last week was really challenging, maybe pull a little bit of weight off these first couple. The mass amounts of these reps going to take a long time. You're gonna have very minimal recovery, and then doing them, for 4 sets here. It's 18 reps. It's a pretty good amount of reps in a really, really short time with minimal rest. So you'll probably be okay with the 3, 2, 1. Obviously, it's a little heavier, but you're going to get a little more recovery time, and you're not going to be under, your time under tension is a little bit less. So you can definitely push the weights on these ones, but these 5 and 4 are going to be real fatiguing and kind of going to set the tone for the 3, 2, 1. So just be smart with that. We're obviously working on barbell cycling and form and efficiency. We're not looking to overload these reps and try to go super, super heavy and make them really, really fatiguing. We should be tired. We should be fatigued and breathing heavy, but we shouldn't really be getting into heavy weights until this 3, 2, 1 or anything that's really taxing our body muscularly. This is going to be more kind of just overall burn, fatigue, and heart rate. So kind of chase that in the beginning and then add your heavy weights here. And obviously, if we're feeling good, go for a single. I know a lot of people on Wednesday, they thought that the overall fatigue was going to affect their max clean at the end or their heavy single, but doing a ton of reps, really honing and drilling in the form early with some lighter weights and getting a ton of repetitions up to the single, people actually felt really, really good. A few people hit PRs. They lifted, a weight that they've lifted before, but it was a ton easier, even though they had fatigue. So you might surprise yourself a little bit, but just make sure we're kind of building our way into it and we're being smart. And then once we get to the heavy singles, should be good to go. So you'll get a full minute rest. So 9 to 10, you get a full minute rest just like Wednesday, so you can lower the barbell weight, kind of gather yourself, chalk up, whatever it may be, and then we'll just do 60 seconds of max squat cleans at the weight for 4. So heavier than last week would be the goal. Last week we used the weight for 5. So same thing as the last few weeks, we're going to do it for 4. Okay, I'm looking for probably 8 to 10 reps here, I think is appropriate. Singles or just small touch and go sets. Okay, and then we got a nice little up and down chipper metcon, 13-minute time cap. I made it pretty tight just because I want people to stay within the time domains of these movements, and hopefully we push a little bit bigger sets on some of these movements, but stay within ourselves so we don't really get fatigued too much to finish it. But 30 wall balls, toes to bar, burpee box jump overs is obviously going to be a big portion of the workout right in the middle, and then this backside toes to bar here is going to probably be one of the more challenging portions of it. And we finish up with the wall ball. So we got to make sure that we choose a ball weight that fresh 3, 2, 1 go. We can do this realistically probably in 2 sets. If you struggle with toes to bar, you may want to break it into a 3rd set, but we shouldn't be breaking these wall balls up into more than 3 sets. 1 from a fatigue standpoint, or 2 just from an overall time standpoint. So choose an appropriate ball weight. Like I said, if you're going to break it into 2 sets, 17, 13, 18, 12 are really fun splits for me. I like those. They feel good having a little bit smaller set on the backside. But when you're fresh, you can get a little bit bigger set. Sometimes people stretch 20, 10, but I feel like sometimes if you stretch the last few reps, right, getting to 15 feels pretty good. Start to add a little bit of fatigue. If you push 5 more reps just to get to 20, add a little bit of extra fatigue, it might actually affect your heart rate, the global fatigue for toes to bar. So it seems to be like getting to 17, 18 feel pretty good, and then break, and then a little bit smaller set. Or 12, 10, 8, real quick rest, 5 to 7 seconds. You're probably going to finish in a pretty similar time as to somebody doing 2 sets, but resting a little bit longer, right? Toes to bar here. You should be relatively fresh grip-wise. Midline should feel okay. Maybe a little bit of fatigue here, but I think we can attack these toes to bar, a little bit more aggressively than normal. We do want to get a little bit ahead of the cap, since the burpees are kind of here just to cruise through and not really try to win the workout here. I think you can kind of go a little bit above and beyond on the toes to bar, take the first 10 burpees as a little bit of recovery, and then kind of maybe try to speed up on the last 20 or just try to hold pace for the 20. It's really going to come down to these toes to bar here, right? The last 20 burpee box jump overs and then into the 30 toes to bar. I think if we can maintain good sets here, we'll be okay, and then finishing with the 30 wall balls. So, time frame, right? 30 wall balls. If we break it up into a couple sets, you're looking at, a minute 15, maybe a minute 30 max. Toes to bar, if we're hitting 3 to 5s here, you're probably going to get through 15 or so, 10 to 15 on a minute. So we're looking at 3 minutes here. So 4.5 minutes, 30 burpee box jump overs. Even if we over exaggerate, we'll call it 4 minutes. You're at 8.5 minutes. Add another, 3 to 4 minutes here, 12 minutes, minute on the wall ball. So there's time to get it in, but it is tight, like I said. So we got to stay within the time domains of the wall balls for sure, and then hopefully we can chip away at these toes to bar in a couple minutes to start, get a little bit ahead of the count, and then just cruise through the burpees. So, anyways, I'm excited for it. I think it's a good push. It's going to force you to kind of go a little bit outside your comfort zone on global fatigue and see if we can get it done on the cap. Other than that, have a great Friday. If I don't see you, have a great weekend. Jules Wolfpack.